remember those coordinating conjunctions? Fanboys. Excellent. Alright, so if that is what a compound sentence is, what do you think a complex sentence is? Just make a try. Okay, it has an independent clause. What other clause will it have? You think it would have a dependent clause. Alright, so I'm going to play a video for you. Please pay attention. After looking at this video, you should be able to tell me what exactly is a complex sentence and the conjunctions that we would use in complex sentences. Alright?
In this video, we'll look at what we mean by the term complex sentence. So, what is a complex sentence? Well, it's one that has one independent clause or one or more dependent clauses. Now, an independent clause is one that can stand alone as a sentence, a little bit more on that in a second. And a dependent clause is one that can't stand alone as a sentence. So in this video, the independent clauses are all going to be in blue, and the dependent clauses are all going to be in green. So let's look at our first example. No country can really develop unless its citizens are educated, quote by Nelson Mandela. So you can see here, no country can really develop in blue. That could be a standalone sentence, that's an independent clause. And then, appended to that, in green is the dependent clause, unless its citizens are educated. So, unless its citizens are educated is dependent clause because it can't stand alone as a sentence.
Good. Now that you've looked at the video, can you tell me now what is a complex sentence? Let's hear from Rebecca. Good, it's right there. A complex sentence has one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. That means it must only have one independent clause. You can have multiple dependent clauses. Look at the example here. No country can really develop unless its citizens are educated. Now, we see that the independent clause is the one that can stand by itself. It has a subject and it has a verb, and it makes sense. No country can really develop. But then we have unless its citizens are educated. So unless its citizens are educated, that does not make sense on its own. That tells us that it's a dependent clause. But the conjunction is what signals to you where the dependent clause starts. For example, you see the subordinating conjunction here. Unless signals to you that this is where the dependent clause starts. So therefore, the subordinating conjunctions begin with the dependent clause. Right? If you're to switch the sentence around, unless its citizens are educated, no country can really develop. That would work. But again, it begins the dependent clause. So if you say, no country can really develop unless, if you want to put that as the dependent clause, and say its citizens are educated as the independent clause, it would not work. Why? Right, because then it would mean that the subordinating conjunction ends the dependent clause. That doesn't work. The subordinating conjunction can only begin the dependent clause. You understand that, students? Do you have any questions? Alright, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put 3 dependent clauses on the board. I would like for you to add on an independent clause to it to make it a complex sentence. So I'm just going to give you the dependent clause, and you will have to make it a complex sentence by adding on an independent clause. You understand? independent clauses on the board. I would like for you to add the independent clause. Remember, it will come either at the end of the dependent clause or it will come at the beginning. But you also have to remember if you start your sentence with a dependent clause, you must put a comma before you write your independent clause. Right? So, can you identify the subordinating conjunctions that we have here? Before, because, when. Can you list some more for me? If, after, since, correct, even though. Alright. So, I would like you to go ahead and add your independent clauses to these three dependent clauses to form one complex sentence each. Right? Alright, now that you've done that, I would call on some of you and you're going to tell me your sentences that you would have written. So, for the first one, before the sun sets, let's hear what Carrion has. Before the sun sets, Mom cooked the dinner. Mom cooked dinner is independent clause students. Right, so you agree with the sentence that Carrion has written? Very good. Before the sun sets, let's hear one more person. You must have a different sentence. Let's hear from Nayana. Before the sun sets, the boys reach home. Excellent. The boys reach home is a independent clause. Very good. Let's look at the next one. Because the class was noisy. Because the class was noisy. Let's hear from Maria. Because the class was noisy, the teacher was upset. Do you agree with that? Where is the independent clause in that sentence class? The teacher was upset. Excellent. And next one, where we reach the school. When we reach the school, yes, Ria. When we reach the school, the bell rang. The bell rang is an independent clause. Good, so when it's added to our independent clause, it forms a complex sentence. Excellent. Alright. Alright, students. So on the smartboard here we have a picture. What is this picture showing you? Boys are playing football in the rain. Good. So I would like for you now to construct a complex sentence based on this picture. Alright, so you will describe this picture using a complex sentence. Just one complex sentence each of you have to write. Right? But I'm going to call on you just now and you're going to tell me your sentences. Okay, let's hear Rajiv's sentence. The boys played in the rain because it was fun. Do you agree with that, students? The boys played in the rain because it was fun. Where is the the dependent clause? Because it was fun. Excellent. Okay, another person. Maria, let's hear from you. Although it was raining, the boys continued to play. Do you agree with that, students? Although it was raining, the boys continued to play. What is the subordinating conjunction in that sentence? Although. Excellent. Good. So, although it was raining, that is the dependent clause. The boys continue to play is the independent clause. Excellent. What do you have, Rebecca? The boys continue to play all it was raining. So she has it the other way around, right? Still correct. Good. And let's hear from The boys refused to stop playing, even though their clothes were soaked. Do you agree with that sentence, students? What is the subordinating conjunction? Even though. Alright, excellent. So, our last task for today is, you will have, I'm going to give you these worksheets, and I have the dependent clauses over this side, and I have the independent clauses on this side. Right? So on your left side, you will see the dependent clause, and on your right side, you will see the independent clause. I would like for you to match them to form a complex sentence. Remember, it must make sense, right? So you have to match the correct dependent clause to the correct independent clause. Think you can do that for me? All right. Please put your name on the worksheet because I'll be collecting them after class. So you can begin as soon as you collect your worksheet. Alright, is everybody finished now? Alright, let's begin. Number one, because I was late. What does this dependent clause match with? Because I was late. Match with B, right. Because I was late, I missed the bus. Okay, so I'm going to call on you, and you're going to tell me the other answer, right? Good. Jamari, when the teacher walked in, D, do you have that, students? Did you match number 2 to D? When the teacher walked in, everyone became quiet. Good, that is also correct. Number 3, although I studied hard. Hey, Matt. Although I studied hard, you match that to A, I still failed the test. Did all of you match it to A? Although I studied hard, I still failed the test. And the last one, since the road was flooded, Amira, since the road was flooded, C, stay, go. Excellent. Now remember that because it starts with a dependent clause, you must put a comma after the dependent clause to make it a complex sentence. That will make it grammatically correct. Right? So you have to put a comma because you started the sentence with a dependent clause. And then you add on your independent clause. Right? Alright, so I'm going to collect these worksheets. I'm going to mark them. Do you have any questions? Is everybody clear on what we did today? Good. Well, then remind me, what is a complex sentence? Right, a complex sentence has how much independent clauses? Just one. And it has how many dependent clauses? One or more. Good, how do we join them? You see conjunctions. What type of conjunctions? Subordinating conjunctions. Okay, good. Now, there's only the coordinating conjunction and the subordinating conjunction. I want you to remember this. The coordinating conjunctions are only those 7 conjunctions that we did in fanboys, right? All the other conjunctions, they're subordinating conjunctions, right? And those subordinating conjunctions we use in complex sentences. Alright? Do you understand that, students? Good. So for homework, I'd like for you to just construct 2 complex sentences on your own. Just 2. Right? And you come next class, I'll check them. Alright. So since you have no questions, this has brought us to the end of our lesson. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your cooperation.